bounce back? How is she able to control the zone and not let an umpire's zone maybe dictate how she's going to throw in that game? So that's really what we're going to focus on tonight with her.
His first pitch to Coffee underway, a 3-game set as we start this series on Thursday due to Easter weekend. Throwing everybody off a little bit. I think everybody feels like it's Friday already.
I certainly do. And I know we're down talking with Coach Tarina. She's like, oh, yeah, we got you guys tomorrow, Saturday, right? Nope, today's Thursday. We're doing a Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Megan and I excited to be with you for the first 2 of this series. A few weeks ago, Megan, it looked like we might have a series between the number 1 and number 2 teams in the nation, as Texas was number 1, LSU was number 3. Dropped down a little bit, but still 2 teams that have national championship aspirations.
Yeah, I think like we mentioned in the open, it's a grind, this SEC lineup, and it doesn't get any easier, right? Texas goes off and plays OU next weekend. And I think this is the time that it gets really exciting. You're starting to watch teams. How are they going to manage these 3-game weekends? How are they using their pitchers? And there's really no secrets anymore. You're through the SEC.
Big factor here today and all throughout the weekend is the way that LSU is able to manage at-bats. They have more walks than any team in the conference. That is their 210th of the season. Side by side, a batting average for LSU, 353 on the season, but Longhorns even better this year. All 5 of those categories, all 4 of those categories, are top 5 in the Southeastern Conference for both teams. Jayla Lassiter, center fielder, 331 average. Look all the way down this starting 9 for LSU. You only find 1 player hitting below 300. Foul back into the crowd. A sold-out crowd today, by the way. No surprise there.
I'm loving that, coming up to the ballpark and seeing that sold out. This is a new trend that we're seeing here at Red and Charlene McCombs. Definitely helps when your team has been bouncing around that number 1 spot throughout the season so far.
1-2 pitch coming from Cavan. Got her looking.
It looked like a little bit of an off speed there by Cavan. It was over the heart of the plate, but just kind of, you could see, kept Jayla a little off balance there. But a nice job, especially after issuing that leadoff walk to Coffee.
Macy Bazaran batting third for LSU. 403 average on the season. Macy and Tori Edwards make up the Smash Sisters on this LSU roster. Combining for 24 home runs, and she has really shined facing ranked opponents this year.
I mean, she's just really shined in general. Her batting average, her home run numbers, everything's nearly doubled from last season.
Got her looking. 2 straight backwards Ks in the scorebook for Tegan Cavan.
I like Tegan Cavan in that AB. You saw her start with a strike. I feel like there's a little snap behind it. I feel like she's had a little bit more, I don't know, oomph behind it. There it is again, going that outside corner to these righties. Keeping it low.
First pitch to this fantastic freshman, Tori Edwards from Flower Mound Marcus in the Dallas area. Back home in the Lone Star State for 2 consecutive weekends. might not have very fond memories of her first weekend back in Texas, dropping 3 to Texas A&M. 3 straight strikeouts by Tegan Cavan after putting.
Did offer up 4 walks in that start, but she gave up those 8 hits, and it's about limiting that momentum from the offense. You might give up a hit, but how are you going to limit it starting to stack on one after another?
There's Caden Henry. 458 batting average is second best on this team. It's 2 points behind Maloney's 460. Henry had a hard time the last 2 games of the series against Tennessee. Went 0 for 6 with combined 4 strikeouts. First time that she's had back-to-back hitless games this season. To the right side of the infield, scooped up by Sierra Daniel and over to Tori Edwards. Maloney moves up to second after Henry is put out.
You can't say enough when we're talking about this offense and the struggles of Texas last weekend. They were up against Kaylin Pickens, who's arguably one of the best pitchers in the country, throwing a hot 77 miles an hour. It was no easy task.
Nia Scott is riding a 5-game hitting streak, entering this one. That's best on the squad. Four for 8 on the weekend against Tennessee. Into left and on the track. Jaden Leno makes the grab. That had extra base hit written all over it, but Leno playing her position well.
Yeah, and a little thing that I'm noticing with Berzon right now is, yes, she's getting a couple of those outs, but I feel like she's leaving that ball elevated just a little bit too much. That pitch to Nia Scott was above the belt, I think able to elevate, and she's got to be careful with that.
Reese Atwood, the reigning D1 softball and Softball America National Player of the Year, the Big 12 Player of the Year last season. We highlighted her offensive prowess off the top of the broadcast. 14 home runs, .895 slugging percentage, 111 total bases, all leading team in those categories. Call for a strike on the inside corner by J.C. Bartley behind the plate today. Aaron Golden on the first base side, Robert Guest. On the third base side, our SEC crew.
I like what they're doing there. They're going with that drop ball to Reese, hammering it low and in, seeing if you can get her to chase.
3-1 the count with 2 out. Runner on second for Texas. Free pass issued to Atwood.
Not a bad move right there when you're looking at this lineup and you're just looking at who's anyone who possibly could beat you with a runner on second. I think issuing a walk there doesn't hurt you.
Jolie Mitchell will try to make it hurt the Tigers.
Just a long strike, but it was hammered.
The grad student from Rosebud, Arkansas. Foul to the third base side. Saw Mike White just then in his salute to service outfit. A lot of the Texas players wearing some camo gear. As you'll see that on base paths and the coaching boxes for Texas throughout the dugout today. We had a flyover that was so fast we couldn't find it. We heard it go over the stadium, but 4 jets passing by in the blink of an eye. 1-2 to the third baseman, Danica Coffey, on to Tori Edwards for the third out. So Texas leaves a pair stranded in the bottom of the first, and we are scoreless in Austin in this top 10 matchup. To the second baseman, Bennett, over to Mitchell for the first out. That's Serena leading this LSU program. She won her 700th career game earlier this month against Louisiana Tech, a 9-1 run rule victory. 14th year at the helm of this program. 4 Women's College World Series appearances.
Always love getting the opportunity to call an LSU game. Get to see Beth Serena. I had the opportunity to play for her in the Pro League. She was a coach for the USSSA Pride and really got to know her and her LSU teams during that time.
You got to reunite with her kids before the game got started. Been a while since you've seen them.
Oh, yeah, they're not so little anymore. Her and her husband, Nick. All 3 of their little girls.
Savannah Bedell into left field, fielded by Katie Stewart. 2 up and 2 down. That'll lead to Maddox McKee. McKee coming back to a place where she has some great memories. Led Lake Creek to back-to-back Texas State championship titles here on this field in 2022 and 23. First team All-State player. The 0-1 pitch driven into center. Two-time All-American for Lake Creek, 2-time state champion on this field. Now 1 for 1 as a college player in Austin.
98, the second baseman, number 23, Sierra Daniel.
Now Sierra Daniel.
So I'm starting to see, I know it's just the second inning, but wondering what LSU's approach is. And you're starting to see him swinging at that first pitch. We saw it with Bedell, McKee, the second pitch, but I'm seeing LSU now starting to take advantage, I think, of Cavan going right at instead of really kind of toying with that.
Daniel saw a big gap to the right side of the infield with Katie Bennett playing over and took full advantage.
Yeah, this is just a perfectly placed ground ball, like you just mentioned. If Bennett's not shading so far up the middle, easily able to get to that and almost gets it, just misplays it with their glove. I think it just bounced right underneath it.
2 on, 2 out for LSU. 9-hole hitter Avery Hodge steps up. Very familiar with this Texas team as she transferred over from Oklahoma. Count 1-1 now. The 2-time national champion as a member of the Sooners.
Yeah, Tegan right now, 3 pitches in a row, kind of moving that ball up in the zone, whereas last inning we saw her really utilize that drop ball. I feel like we saw her a little bit more success with that drop ball again. Just the second inning. I'm just over here trying to pick up any tendencies we're watching as far as.
1-2, foul back, and the bat goes flying into the LSU dugout. See all smiles over there, thankfully, Megan.
My gosh. Here you see going with that screwball away and just can't stay in her glove. I mean, that's scary. That's why you got the nets there.
She went right through it.
I know.
Found the opening. Here's the 1-2 again. Mitchell fields it herself, tags the bag, and the Longhorns get out of the inning. Tigers leave a pair aboard. Bottom of the second coming up. Katie's Eastern Conference. Popped into shallow center. Going out to get it. It's Daniel. Coach Mike White for Texas. The next win will be his 300th as the leader of this program. You become only the second coach in Texas history to reach that mark, joining Connie Clark. And I asked him this morning if that number causes you to pause and reflect on your time here in Austin. Like, no, not really big for the sentimentality of it all.
The numbers handle itself. That's what I think he said.
Yep,
Okay.
keep moving forward, keep doing your thing, and the numbers will add up. That's a big number, 300 with one more win. It would also be the 40th win of the season for Texas. One more. That would be the 6th consecutive 40-win season in a full campaign. We throw out 2020, of course.
Yeah, I think what Mike White's been able to do here at Texas has just been absolutely incredible. Taking Texas to the postseason every year he's been here.
Katie Simmons into center field, just a little bit short of where Stewart put it. This time it's Avery Hodge going over to make the ground. And that'll lead to Leanne Good for the Longhorns as Sydney Berzon keeps working in the circle. Good went 0 for 8 last weekend, as Texas dropped 2 out of 3 to Tennessee.
You know, some feedback about Texas's offense is they were chasing pitches out of the zone last weekend, and I think that would be something they were focusing on. And right now I still feel like the last 2-3 batters that Berzon's gone, she's been able to get them to chase, get that drop ball down, kind of a weak ground ball, and like right now she's doing a great job keeping Texas batters guessing a little bit.
Opponents batting just .228 against her. Missing with that one, now 2-1. Two-time NFCA All-American, two-time All-SEC selection. Won 13 consecutive decisions to start the season. Best start in LSU program history. Two count with 2 out to Good. Both players reset. Tapper to the third base side, and Coffey on to Edwards, and Sydney Berzon makes quick work of the Longhorns.
To put up.
Large part and thanks to having one of the nation's best offenses. Number 10 in the nation with a .353 batting average. Number 2 in the country in on-base percentage at .460. Danica Coffey as the Tigers return to the top of the batting order. Backhanded play by Leanne Good. No time to make a throw to get the leadoff hitter, and she is aboard.
Yeah, Good. Just not able to get a foot placement there. I feel like she does a nice job getting to this ball. Going to get a quick release, but that back foot not able to grip. And good move by her not to try to just still throw it, but you see that back leg just continue to slide.
Jayla Lassiter struck out looking her first time up. Coffey now at first base. We mentioned state championship won by one of her LSU teammates, Maddox McKee for Lake Creek. Well, Coffey also won a state title here on this field for Angleton back in 2019. First state title for that school in a quarter century. Well out of play.
Really liked what Coach Trina said. It sounds like this is Danica's team. When she goes, we go. That's kind of been the motto. And you can tell when you're sitting at the top of the lineup as a leadoff and you have 43 walks. She started this game with the walk. Then she gets a hit. She is constantly on base for this team to put the offense in motion.
Check over to first.
Wow. That was close. That was like a delayed throw from Atwood, just kind of watching Coffee take her time getting back there. This is sneaky.
2-1. Got her looking. Second time that's happened to Lassiter tonight.
Yeah, Lassiter just not able to figure out Cavan right now. It doesn't seem like, just kind of guessing a little bit. That ball, maybe assuming it might continue going up. It's a screwball, so it stays just riding right in under her hands.
4 strikeouts now for Cavan.
Nice pick there by Atwood.
Macy Bazaran. 9 home runs on the year for her. Most recent one last Wednesday against Louisiana Tech. Tigers won that game 9-1 at Tiger Park. Two-time Louisiana Gatorade Player of the Year. Missing inside, and the Smash Sisters, Edwards, Bazaran, 24 home runs. The rest of the team only half that altogether.
The two of them really a big spark in the middle of this lineup, and a lineup a little different this year. Not as much power, a lot more speed. Coach Trina was talking to us about it in the numbers. You can see that, but still able to manufacture plenty of runs. And their batting averages, like you've already mentioned, number 10 nationwide, number 2 in the SEC.
Danica Coffee standing at first. 2-2 offering coming. Missing away.
It's a good pitch right there in that count. Great job by Bazaran not chasing.
Career season for Macy so far. Fouling that one off. Gets past Beth Tarina. Beyond that third base coaching box. Bazaran facing a 3-2 count. To the third baseman, Mia Scott, all the way across the diamond for out number 2. It advances Coffee to second.
First baseman, number 42, Tori Edwards.
Tori Edwards, due to the plate for LSU, making a case that she's putting together the greatest offensive season by a freshman in program history. Already the record holder for RBI, number 2 in home runs in a single season for a rookie.
Yeah, just 2 behind Savannah Jakewish's 17 home runs as a freshman.
And finds herself at the top of the Southeastern Conference in slugging percentage, second in home runs and runs batted in. Second pitch to Edwards. In there. And we asked Coach Tarina this morning, is she exceeding expectations? She said, I don't know if you could ever expect anything like this. It's just off the charts.
And I'd have to agree with her. I mean, you can see someone's strength. You've seen what their ability coming in, but then you're like, how are they going to do versus, collegiate pitching, SEC pitching, 3 games in a row when people start to know maybe some of your flaws or where you have a gap in your swing.
Missing away and getting away from Atwood, allowing Coffee to move over to third.
Honestly, I think that's just the case of trying sometimes Start framing a pitch before you grab it.
2-2 with 2 out and a runner now on third for LSU. And the count is now full to Edwards. Payoff pitch on the way to nothing.
There's definitely some English on it, right? A cue ball type of hit. There's a curveball away. Edwards just ahead of it. So you see it dancing around over there. Mitchell just not able to control the ball once she gets it. Tries to crawl, and the moment she tries to crawl, the ground, I think, makes the ball come out of her hand. And this is what we were talking about with Coach earlier today, Tarina, talking about the speed of everyone on this lineup. A ball like that, and your 4-hole hitter still able to leg it out and not give up. They run out everything. They call it their hard 60s, but this has been a way that they've been able to get extra base runners on base. It's just the type of effort they have running down first, and something like that, someone could have given up pretty easily.
Absolutely.
You're the third out. Woe is me. Not the case for Tori Edwards.
After Coach White went to go discuss this with the crew.
The ruling on the field is safe at first base. That play is now under review with the Texas Challenge.
We will now have a review with the UT Challenge, and take a look right here. She'll crawl to the bag, lose the handle, and did she get it back in that right hand and tag the bag with her glove before Edwards' foot touched it?
That's going to be interesting. There's a lot of movement going on there.
She looks like she had it.
The call on the field has been changed. The runner is
wow.
out. This is Texas' first challenge.
Call reversed. It is an out. I thought perhaps that Mitchell trapped it with her hand, not so much gripping it,
right,
but putting that ball on the dirt. But that's not what the crew on the review saw.
Yep.
There's the call. It is reversed. Out, inning over.
You take a look at that. It's Ashton, Caden, Mia, Reese. You've got 4 of them right in a row. And I feel like this is an opportunity. Katie Bennett having a little rough go at it lately. She's got to get back on that hitting streak I feel like she's had. She started the season so strong. She was able to turn this lineup over for that top of the order. And I know that Coach White talks about, as most people, you know, that if the top of the order goes for Texas, you go. But a lot of that had to do with how Bennett was able to turn that lineup over as well.
Bennett hasn't registered a hit since April 5th. And she went 3 for 3 at Missouri. Last weekend, she went 0 for 7 against Tennessee. Facing a 1-2 pitch to the second baseman, Daniel. Quick throw and a stretch by Edwards to get the first out.
It's a great play by Sierra Daniel in the way that she didn't waste any time getting rid of that ball. That's a hard play to make as a second baseman. Just that transfer, the way she opens up, perfectly executed.
Back to the top of the order for Maloney, who has the Longhorns' only hit so far today. Won't pick up a second. 2 up, 2 down.
Yeah, and you got to think Sydney Berzon, hats off the way that she's been able to really dial in with this Texas offense. Other than that hit to very first batter, Ashton Maloney, excuse me. She's really done a nice job moving the ball around the plate.
So far, LSU and Sydney Berzon executing the game plan to perfection. They don't want to have to score big runs. That's been the formula for a lot of their wins this season, having to put up big numbers. Keeping UT scoreless, and a leaping catch by Avery Hodge to end the third. Go up, and that single elimination format just provides so much drama. Get that in baseball this year too in the SEC. One win, one loss, and you're done. Jaden Leno lifts this one into left field. Katie Stewart comes on to make the catch. Here's a look at the SEC standings, Megan, and right now 1 and 2. The Aggies and the Longhorns right behind them, the Oklahoma Sooners.
Yeah, I know, right when you were talking about the new format for the tournament, I think it's a good play to only have one game because you don't want to beat yourselves up before going into postseason there. Katie Bennett there showing a misplay there at second base. You don't see her mishandle a whole lot over there. Pretty steady Eddie, and not sure she's able to get to the ball. It just gets right under her glove again. Right through the legs.
Puts Bedell aboard with 1 out. And leads to Maddox McKee. Softball and baseball in the SEC with a single elimination format now. Texas baseball at home this evening. And over here on this side of campus, it is going to be very, very busy here over the next hour and a half or so, as we not only have a sold-out softball stadium, baseball fans starting to roll in for a 7 o'clock start against 8th-ranked Auburn. You'll also see that one on SEC Network Plus. McKee, 1-2 pitch to her. Missing high. She provided the first hit of the game for LSU, a single in the second. Two from Cavan. Full count now. Three-two the count, 1 out. Savannah Bedell standing at first. Ripped into the gap. It falls in front of Caden Henry. LSU has runners on second and third. Diving back into third, it's Bedell.
Almost the exact same location as the last time McKee got a hit. She got into that right center field. Her timing right now, Cavan, just couldn't be any better. She gets the ball up in the zone. That's way too good. Right over the heart of the plate and not high enough, and she's able to drive it into that right center. I feel Caden Henry, I don't know that that throw needed to go to third base. I think that needs to get right to second to keep that batter runner off of second, and unfortunately for that, now you've got a runner at second and third. And quite frankly, I just don't see Texas playing very sharp right now. I think you go back to that last game versus Tennessee on Sunday, just some mismanagement of play, field positioning, communications. This inning, I think a routine ground ball, maybe a little bit up the middle, but one that Katie Bennett normally makes, gets under her glove there, and even that throw right there, that needs to be sharp and going right to second base.
After the visit to the circle, LSU will you'll send up Sierra Daniel with runners on second and third. 1 out in a scoreless game. LSU thought they had their first run in the third. The call was reversed, and Tigers have shined with runners in scoring position this season, hitting .367. Daniel singled back in the second. Sophomore from Chandler, Arizona. Watches that one catch the outside corner. Only a couple of at-bats for Daniel last weekend in College Station, went 0 for 2. Missing high on the 0-2.
I feel like this is what we expected to see out of LSU and A&M last weekend. A little bit more of a pitcher's duel, as you are seeing here, and instead it was a bash contest. It was a ton of runs there in College Station.
Off of Atwood and out of play. Had that opener last Friday, a 12-7 Aggie win, followed up by a 9-7 win by Texas A&M. Bats finally calmed down on Sunday. The final score is 4-1 in favor of Texas A&M. One, two. Fouled off into the street.
Like a good time for an off-speed. That's something Cavan could get going a little bit more here. Second time through the lineup.
Instead, Cavan ripping one to the outside, missing away.
Crowd wanted it. It was off the plate. You want it off the plate. It's 1-2. They've been fouling off. Plenty of pitches. You do not want anything close.
2-2 with 2 on. Continuing to battle. Again, the 2-2. Count now full. Daniel continues to fight against Cavan. Who is going to get the upper hand? This will be the 12th pitch of the AB. Finally, got her swinging. Daniel battled and fought. But finally, it's Tegan Cavan getting the K.
Wow, that is grit right there. I feel like we haven't seen her really hammer that low inside, and I think that is a low rise. Well, I'm looking at that spin there, trying to figure out if she went in with the curve, but that had a little bit of an upspin there. What a great location, late break.
2 out for Avery Hodge. Fouled back. Hodge went 2 for 3 at the plate on Sunday in the series finale against Texas A&M. That included a double, and she scored LSU's only run, driven in by Bazaran. Off-speed pitch in the zone. 1-2 pitch with 2 out and 2 on for LSU. Missing high. Texas fans trying to will this final strike. See their Longhorns get out of a jam. Two. Fouled off.
Cavan right now, all hits that she's given up, all 4 have been to lefties, and you're watching, and now even Hodge get a lot of pitches, foul a lot off, so I have to imagine there's something potentially there with Cavan.
Cavan watches Hodge.
And right on cue, it's a lefty getting the 5th hit of the game. Hodge able to get that ball elevated right over Leanne Good's glove, perfectly located. Not a bad pitch right there. That's a screwball away. She just stays right on it, lift it just enough. And unfortunately for Katie Stewart, she double pumps out there. And that amount of time allows that McKee to score.
Great observation there. If she would have come up throwing immediately, out has probably made it the plate. Instead, McKee able to score after Bedell already had 2 runs batted in for Hodge. That's a single. She advances to second on the throw home. And remember the error by Katie Bennett.
Yep.
That would have been the second out. So both of those runs are unearned for LSU. Back to the top of the order for Coffee. One fouled off. And it's every little bitty thing that could end up causing you a problem. And Texas knows in a series against LSU, you almost have to be perfect.
I think being a #1 team most of this season, you would think you are perfect, right? You play perfect, and they have played perfect. But what we're seeing here is just a little bit, I think it's a mental thing, right? It's not physical. They can make these plays, but we've just been seeing a little bit of errors that shouldn't be happening.
Diving to make the grab. It's good. She saw that last ball sail over her glove off the bat of Hodge, but able to bring it in from Coffee. Tigers get 2.
The top of the Texas lineup. Such a gamer. It's like situations like this where she just thrives in, and she always comes up big. Or at least starts something for the
1-0 pitch to her. Coach White likes to joke about how much Mia drives him crazy, but it's a good crazy, right?
Yeah, I think you
It's
always
fun.
have to have a couple players. You got to keep your coaches on their toes.
You know nothing about
Nothing. Never tested Connie.
Scott hit one to the warning track, her first AB, as Jaden Leno was able to bring it in left field. In front of the Texas fans hanging over the fence there in left. To the shortstop, Hodge, and after driving in a couple of runs, makes a great grab with the glove. She's had a couple of those back to back. In
Both
fact,
shortstops.
ending the third, Henry, and then retiring Scott here. Yeah, absolutely. Between Hodge and Good, we've seen a defensive clinic at short. Reese Atwood walked her first time up. Was one of 2 Longhorns left stranded in that opening frame. Going over to get it, it's Daniel. Quick footwork to retire Atwood.
First
I feel
baseman
like
number
Sydney Berzon right now is just in the zone, and the way that she's able to keep that ball not only down, I think right at the first inning I mentioned that was the first hit. It was a little elevated. Since then, she's just really been commanding that drop ball. I feel like being able to either keep it right at the knees. When she gets ahead, she's getting a little lower. She's getting Texas to chase a little bit, not being able to barrel it up.
1-0 to Mitchell.
Great off speed.
As Berzon ripped off that incredible start to this season, Coach Tarina talking about it just became normal for her to produce shutouts. And that's what she's done so far against the Longhorns today. Tigers lead 2-0, 4 innings complete in Austin. Approach and philosophy with the new hitting coach for LSU, Bryce Neal, they don't want to get deep in counts and potentially into a pitcher's count. If you can hunt a great pitch early, go after it.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's interesting because we saw them that first inning as hitters. Yes, the first batter walked, but then it was 3 strikeouts in a row. And ever since then, I feel like you've watched them work a whole new game plan against Cavan.
Bazaron grounds out. It allows Lassiter to advance to third. Neal helping this team string together some quality at-bats against top arms this season. And the vault in so many different categories for the Tigers is evident with him in that position.
Yeah, I think when we asked Coach Trina about the offense and, you know, we're watching a couple batters in this lineup just completely change their numbers, double their numbers, more power, better average, and she just couldn't say enough. I think she wanted to start by saying very proud of having Coach Howard Dobson there and everything he was able to do, but it's been nice to have Bryce come and bring a new energy to the team, and just incredible what he's able to bring as far as
that one's lifted but goes well foul.
As far as bringing, whether it's stats or data or breaking it down, presentation, and has a lot to be able to give the players, and it just said the players have really adopted to what he's able to bring.
Last year, helping develop 5 all-region selections, 3 all-SEC choices. Saw those 2 years, 2022 and 23 at Louisville. Produced a couple of All-Americans there with the Cardinals. 2-2. Fouled off by Edwards. Bryce Neal's involvement with LSU dates all the way back to 2019 when he worked a softball camp for Beth Tarina. Was living in Arkansas at the time. His flight got canceled, but he was not going to miss that camp, Megan.
Yeah.
Found the only vehicle available for rent, apparently, that night, a box truck. Made his way down to Baton Rouge, got there middle of the night, 3 a.m. Woke up the next morning to start the camp.
There's that LSU speed again coming in different ways, and that is right off the bat. You know they're on a ground ball go. This is a ball to the right side. You get that extra bounce. There is no extra time that Bennett takes. That's just all the speed from Lassiter.
And with zero hesitation there from Lassiter, I was surprised to see Bennett come up and throw to the plate instead of getting the sure out at first. But considering how Longhorn bats have not been able to touch Sydney Berzon yet, clearly they didn't feel they could afford to give up another run. Just one hit so far for the Longhorns tonight. And they trail 3-0. Jaden Leno. 1-1 the count against her. Longhorns second place in the SEC as Beth Torina calls for a timeout. Her and Bryce Neal will have a discussion with a trio of Tiger student athletes. LSU is 8th place in the SEC at the moment, 8-7, just one game up on 3 teams that are tied for 9th: South Carolina, Ole Miss, and Alabama.
It's just crazy when you hear that, because when you're looking at the numbers, LSU's number 2 in pitching in the SEC, that's in hitting, excuse me. In pitching, they're number 4, yet they're still sitting a little bit lower in the rankings. But what they're able to provide number-wise, the deeper into season they're going to get. They're going to put those two together, and you're going to watch them put together some really big wins.
Leno taps that one off the glove of Atwood, and there's a look at those standings. We mentioned the single elimination format in the SEC tournament at Georgia. Top 4 teams get a double bye. 1-2. That will be playable, but a tough grab there by Scott. Throw gets away. LSU gets Edwards to third. Jaden Leno still on the base pass, running to second, although the catch was made.
Incredible catch by Mia Scott. I mean, she's in left field there, and I feel like almost a little bit, you couldn't tell if someone else was going to call her off, but again, mismanagement of that extra throw. There's no need that throw needed to happen. Texas just gives away an extra bag.
So Savannah Bedell comes up with Edwards on third and 2 out. Bedell reached on an error her last time up and came around to score LSU's first run. Oh, 2 the count from Cavan, missing away. Three to nothing LSU after Jayla Lassiter scored on a Tori Edwards fielder's choice. To Bennett, over to Mitchell for out number 3. So Edwards left stranded at third, but the Tigers...
Different stories. I'd say that they were able to forget that A&M game this past week and really get back to work to come out and face Texas.
To the third baseman, Coffey bounces one into Edwards, able to field it off the hop.
Right on cue, another ground ball there. And they're not even barreling up these ground balls. I feel like they're still getting a little bit in on the hands, or they're out front. They're pulling an outside drop ball, hitting around a pitch.
Katie Simmons popped up to short. Back in the second.
I think we tried a couple different ways to ask Coach Torina, how do you forget about that weekend series about A&M, or how do you move past it, not necessarily forget about it? Getting swept and getting your players. They didn't go home to Baton Rouge. Right. They stayed here in Texas. They stayed an extra day in College Station, and then they came down here into the Austin area. Maybe stayed in New Braunfels a couple nights, too, as they practice at Texas State. But how do you get them to move past it, and then you get to work on things not in your home territory? You don't have your dugout. You don't have your locker room. It's just, what else are you going to do? She's like, well, we let them go to the smash room. And I said, oh, just to let out of all the anger? She's like, well, we planned it before we even came out here to Texas.
So that would have made the story a little bit
know.
better if they said we added this to the itinerary because we wanted to get our frustrations out. But no, it was going to happen one way or another. But they got to break a lot of stuff.
I said they even got to hit cars. I was like, is that here in Austin, or do you guys find that down in New Braunfels? And it's just like, there's one in Austin, too. I was like, I got to find it. I'm looking for that.
They spent some time at Barton Springs as well during the time off.
That. Which I'm proud about. I'm a proud Austinite here. I love when people get to see the beautiful parks and aspects of this town and why we love it so much.
Two-two, lined in to left. Simmons is aboard with a one-out single. Only the second hit of the day for Texas.
Okay, Simmons gets a ball. That's supposed to be a drop ball down. It stays elevated, and she's able to take advantage of that and barrel that one up.
And Simmons will sit down in favor of Shilene Brister, the freshman from Houston, now running at first. Leanne Good at the plate. Ashton Maloney led the game off with a base hit for Texas. That hit by Simmons, only the second of the night for UT. Coffey can't field it cleanly. Brister to second. Good. Reaches on the error.
Danica Coffey misjudging, I think, this ground ball. Instead of coming and getting it that extra step, she stays back and probably gloves that one in her sleep.
The horns now playing for Katie Bennett. Number 3, Vanessa Quiroga.
Vanessa Quiroga will pinch hit for Bennett. She represents the potential game-tying run here. Runners on first and second, Texas trailing by 3.
This is a big time for Texas here. You've got your 2 runners on. One out. You want to be able to see what you're made of. I think this is something that Texas needs to be tested on. They had their 2 losses versus Tennessee. Their offense wasn't able to put it together. But this is what you're building for postseason type play. You've got to be able to manufacture runs. You've got to be able to move a runner even 60 feet. If they can just get those base runners up 60 feet to get to Ashton Maloney, get to that top half of the lineup and find some momentum.
Texas with the salute to service outfits today on the coaching staff. Members of the military, veterans and active recognized here inside the ballpark. Had a pregame flyover. Texas trying to treat that military contingent to a victory today. Right now they trail by 3. Quiroga, only 34 at-bats this season, but has knocked 4 homers out of the yard. That's more than her first 3 seasons combined.
That's the swing you want to see right there. You're a pinch hitter in this situation. You're there to get your hacks.
Quiroga takes that one.
Off speed, floating a little high there.
Limited opportunities for her since mid-March. Did get 2 at-bats last weekend against Tennessee and came up with a hit.
Good job by Bazron behind the dish, getting that one called a strike. I think that's right on the corner. Great pitch.
2-2 count to Quiroga. To the shortstop, Hodge, flipping it to Daniel, and she keeps it. No time to turn 2, so runners on the corners for Texas with 2 out. Back to the top of the order for Maloney.
I'm really not sure why Daniel didn't throw to first there, whether maybe because Good doesn't slide. I don't know if she didn't have a good grip, but I feel like she had a double play in the making there.
Take another look. Quick flip, and you're right, appear to have plenty of time.
Too, yeah. Texas gets away with that. See if they can do anything with it.
You heard me throw on the brakes there on the double play call, Megan. Fully expecting LSU to get out of the inning. Instead, still 2 out. And Texas again has the potential game-tying run at the plate in Ashton Maloney.
Someone who you want up, her first at-bat, she has a hit against Berzon right now.
Into left, Leno making the catch as she drifts into foul territory, and Texas leaves a pair stranded. Still scoreless for UT in this one. Tigers lead 3-0. Everybody starting on Thursday this week for Easter weekend. Diving inability to get that one from Bennett. What's the call here?
I saw this last weekend, and LSU base runners are going to do it. If the first baseman is in the baseline, they're going to run into her to try to draw the interference call, and first base umpire did call it. However, there's no play to go to second. This is just something they're routinely working on. So even though the call's there, she was not awarded second base.
So McKee heading down to second, taking down to first rather. Keep an eye on this right here.
Yeah, Mitchell's right there. And
she knocks Mitchell to the
I think what
dirt.
Coach White's arguing about is that it was a pretty aggressive run in. I mean, there's no play at second. The ball's right in front of you. You have nowhere to go. It's pretty abrasive.
Knocking her down from the blind side.
And I think that's obviously you're going to get that call. I mean, I don't know what they're going to – there's nothing that you're going to be able to do on the field about that. But I think he is going to say, hey, heads up. That ball gets past my right fielder and that happens. Okay, I'm not going to be out here. But that ball is a routine ball.
This is an umpire review of possible flagrant contact at first base. That play is now under review.
That's a first for me.
So the official replay crew in Birmingham will take a look at this, and we'll take another couple of looks ourselves.
See how the right fielder has the ball. That is an aggressive run in, and she does put her hands up and she does push it forward.
And I know the aggressive mentality of LSU on the base pass. It's all gas, no brakes.
I mean,
but common sense on
that and her hands
hit.
Coming up right into a cross. She knew it's going to be. I've never seen this call happen, so I'm on the edge of my seat here.
After further review, the call on the field will stand. However, this is a team warning for LSU.
Because Mitchell was right in the base path.
And Taylor Pleasance, you see her laughing that off at the first base coach with Maddox McKee. But that's the kind of thing in the series opener, Megan, that could make the whole week really chippy between these teams.
It could, for sure.
Daniel and McKee talking with Jolie Mitchell here, and Mitchell doesn't seem to be really accepting the apology there.
I mean, I don't know that I would either. Probably got the wind knocked out of you. I mean, she is blindsided.
I can tell you what, though, Texas fans ready to erupt. If the Longhorns make a great play on defense here in this half inning, this stadium is going to explode.
Yeah, Texas needs to use that as momentum, quite frankly. I think this is where you have your first baseman's back. You need a little bit of something.
Timing call against Daniel resulting in an extra strike for Cavan. So 1-2. Lined back up the middle, and LSU has a pair of runners aboard with nobody out, looking to increase their lead that currently sits at 3-0.
Coach Torino, when we were talking with her, was what's the game plan against Texas? And it really was, it's going to rely on if we can get to Cavan. And we have seen her. We played her last season. She's like, but we're not going to hold on to that. It was an 11 a.m. midweek game. It wasn't something that we really felt like coming into a 3-game series. But we had some looks against her. We have plenty of video. But if we can get to her, then we feel like we have a really good chance in Austin. And right now I feel like their offensive game plan against Cavan is working out. 8 hits on the board already, 3 runs.
Last time these teams met, Megan mentioned it, when they were non-conference opponents. LSU with a 7-4 win over Texas. It was on March 12th of last season. And to left for Stewart. Comes on to make the grab. First out of the 6th. Back to the top of the LSU order for Danica Coffey. 1 for 2 on the day. Reached on an infield single in the 3rd. Was eventually left stranded at 3rd base. For a moment, Tigers thought they had plated her, but a review led to the 3rd out of the inning being recorded at first base on a grounder to Mitchell. And the run was taken off the scoreboard. Tegan Cavan in the circle, and her pitch count up to 109.
I think this big conversation here is more against Coffey, right? You have someone who has a high batting average. She came into this game batting .432. She has a walk. She has a hit. You've got couple runners on. I think you're kind of looking at, hey, you got to be careful with her, not necessarily put her on. If you do, I'd rather maybe take my chance with Lassiter behind her, 2 strikeouts, though she did get a double. I think either way, trying to get her to relax right there, not try to be too perfect.
First pitch swinging for Coffey, lifting it into left center. Stewart comes over to make the catch.
Or induce a fly ball.
Cavan, the undisputed ace of this Texas team. 9 wins in Southeastern Conference play. That ERA at 133. Again into left, and Stewart has a chance to make all 3 outs in the 6th. Tigers get singles from their
last inning, try to utilize something. They've got to kind of have to make something out of nothing here if you're trying to get some momentum on your side.
And you can still feel that sense in the air. We're sitting, of course, in the press box above this sold-out crowd. But given what happened in that last inning and the aggression shown by the Tigers, the warning issued to their bench, Texas fans ready to make some noise, but the Longhorns need to provide a reason for them to do so. Not done that much today, only 2 hits. .3-0 the count. Sydney Berzon, the LSU starter, has worked her way through This one, Megan, 5 innings of work, no strikeouts. 1 walk. Just able to induce balls put into play, and her fielders have taken care of her.
Yeah, just 2 hits. That's not, if you're LSU, how you want to start that inning, but if you're Texas, everyone knows. Don't want to get a leadoff walk.
Second time today that Texas has put the leadoff hitter aboard. It happened in the first when Ashton Maloney singled, and now Henry drawing a free pass to start the 6th inning. And Scott will try to bring her around. 0 for 2 with a fly out to left in the first and a line out to short in the 4th. 1-0 pitch lifted to center field. Last hitter going back, watching it sail out of the yard. The Longhorns pull within 1 as Mia Scott unleashes her 6th home run of the season.
Mia Scott shows you right there why she lives in that 3. I think she is the player that thrives on a little bit of that chippiness, if you will, after that last inning, and someone who's going to step up big time for the Longhorns. This pitch way too good, right over the heart of the plate. Doesn't get too much of a breakdown.
I told you the Longhorn fans were ready to explode, and Mia Scott is the one to light the fuse. LSU's lead trimmed to 3-2. Chance of Texas fights. Heard loud and proud here in Austin for Reese Atwood. 1-1 pitch, grounded to the shortstop Hodge. Long throw, bounces it into Edwards. Great stab by the Tiger first baseman.
It's the second time Tori Edwards have had to make a snag over there at first in that short hop. She's done so good at timing those, making it look easy.
172 RBI for Mia Scott. 4th all-time for the Longhorns. Now Jolie Mitchell, part of the drama in the previous half inning. Knocked to the ground by Maddox McKee. At the plate, Mitchell is 0 for 2, grounded to 3rd in the 1st inning, flied out to center in the 4th. Mitchell is locked in.
Everything the crowd wanted right there. We talked about it. You talk about momentum, and you looked at the lineup. You knew Mitchell was going to have an opportunity to get up this inning, especially with that leadoff walk. But again, it's the drop ball that's just not getting inside. There's still good movement down, but it's all over the heart of the plate. And both of those home runs, Mia Scott's, Jolie Mitchell's, same pitch location, same mistake, and they make them pay.
11 home runs, 40 runs batted in for Mitchell this season. What did I tell you, Megan? She had that look in her eyes. Longhorn fans will be talking about this 6th inning, regardless of how this game finishes. There is going to be plenty of talk about what Jolie Mitchell did in this 6th inning, in the top half and the bottom half, for a long time to come.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that time she got knocked down and came back up and hit a home run?
Yeah. Can't write it better.
Missing high to Katie Stewart. 2-2 to count. And Sydney Berzon, after 5 scoreless innings, has now allowed 3 runs, 2 homers here in the 6th.
Now Berzon, just 2 hits allowed before this inning. I mean, really just a beautiful job in the circle. Texas, 3rd time through, heart of the order, finally makes some adjustments.
Swing and a miss, and Berzon comes back with a vengeance to strike out Stewart.
Yeah, just her first strikeout of the game, but a great job to be able to bounce back. It's an emotional inning so far. For Berzon, if you could just buckle down, remember, like, you've been pitching incredible this whole game. Stick with it, and it's really just been about the placement of those drop balls. And she did. She did a much better job to Katie Stewart getting that thing low and off the plate.
Here's Brister. Came in as a pinch runner in the 5th after Simmons singled. Now getting her first chance at the plate. Brister took over for Bennett at second base in the field, and she'll reach first. No, they'll call that one foul.
Close call here.
Just to the left of the chalk. So 1-2 the count against Bristol. 2 out. Tapped it off for Benjamin.
And that's the adjustment right there of the drop ball, the location, getting it down, and also inside compared to the home run balls.
Still a ball and 2 strikes. Brister keeps battling. Freshman out of Houston. Hitting .235 on the year. Coach White having to quickly get out of the way. Only 1 hit for Brister in SEC play this season. Came back on March 30th at Mississippi State.
She's fouling them off, anything close right now. Even if they're out of the zone, at least she's getting a piece of it.
Count remains 1-2. Delivery from Berzon.
Berzon doing a good job. No reason to even throw it in the strike zone, especially if you're watching Brister swing at some of those. You're almost ready to get that ball hit the dirt.
Eighth pitch, the at-bat coming up. Lazy fly ball to Leno. The Texas Longhorns produce home runs from Mia Scott and Jolie Mitchell. This one is tied at 3. Tigers and Longhorns. This is a top 10 showdown that has lived up. Home run, 3-3. Longhorns and Tigers. Top of the 7th now underway.
So like for Cavan, this is going to be a first time since the 3rd inning pretty much that she gets to pitch now a little bit more relaxed. Yes, the game is still tied. You don't have that lead, but at least she's not pitching from behind there. On the flip side, LSU sitting in a good space, being right at the heart of their lineup.
Bazaran, Edwards, and Leno. Bazaran gets things started with a single for LSU. Three consecutive innings now, Megan, where the Tigers have the leadoff hitter aboard.
Yeah, good pitch there, right on the outside part of the plate. I feel like that's the location you want. Bazaran, even better job driving it up the middle.
Maya Townsend, pinch running for Bazaran. And Tori Edwards due to the plate.
Number 3, Maya Townsend.
Townsend primarily used as a pinch runner this year. She's played in 14 games, only recorded a couple of at-bats.
Atwood may want to walk that one out to the pitcher circle there. I think that clipped home plate umpire as well. Always trying to get on their good side.
I'm sure J.C. Bartley is appreciative. Says he's all good. Batarina making sure.
Oh, I think he's bleeding.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they'll call the trainer out to wrap this one for Mr. Bartley. We need to clean that up for him. Bleeding on that left index finger. I'm not even sure he realized it until Coach Tarina came and said, "You're bleeding."
Oh, yeah. He didn't even get to react. You don't see it, but I mean, that foul ball went. Oh, you can see it's already bruising on top of his finger.
He's a gamer, though. Get a better look at the contact. Yeah, ouch.
Hate to say it here, Tori Edwards, though, definitely do.
This is true.
This is someone, 15 home runs on the season. She's their 4-hole. This is where she wants to be. If you're LSU and who you want up, got to run her on.
0 for 3. She does have a run batted in on a fielder's choice in the 5th. 2-1 coming from Cavan to the shortstop. Good, a flip, and on to first. Can't complete the double play. Texas able to get the lead runner as Good delivers to Brister.
Good job by Cavan. Again, Tori Edwards, just a big time hitter. Almost getting that double play there.
First pitch to Jaden Leno. 0 for 3 today. A ground out and a couple of flyouts for her. Fouls it off herself. Tori Edwards standing at first with 1 out. Tie ball game. Check over to first. Leno did not go around. Three-one offering. Got her swinging. Bringing heat. It is 3-2.
Like the location of that pitch right there. Bring it tight inside.
3-2 pitch to the first baseman, Mitchell, tagging the bag, delivering to good, but can't lay down the tag in time.
Wow, I like this play here. Trying to turn it two backwards. The throw definitely beats the runner. It's the tag. And I do feel like from that angle, it does feel like she slid the back part of the bag.
Yeah.
And good did what you're supposed to do. You get the ball, you bring your glove right to the bag. However, she slid to the back side to it, and I don't think she got to it in time.
No review. At least not yet. And now it appears we will have one. Umpires went back to their positions. Looked like they were ready to play.
Texas is challenging the safe call at second base. That play is under review.
Take a look at the Hawkeye system here in the ballpark. You can get that great zoom.
Oh, man. It's just trying to decide if the glove touches the foot or not at that point. Oh, God. Oh, wow, that zoom.
Once they're able to enhance the picture.
After further review, the call at second base has been upheld. The runner was safe. This is Texas' second challenge.
So Texas loses the challenge as the call is upheld. Tori Edwards into second safely. Potential go-ahead run standing in scoring position for LSU with Savannah Bedell at the plate and 2 out. Bedell is 0 for 3. She scored the first run of the game in the 4th inning after reaching on an error. Driven home by Avery Hodge. Last 11 games for Bedell. You see her production. 10 hits, 7 runs batted in. Right back to the pitcher. Cavan makes the play. Edwards is left stranded in scoring position, and the Longhorns have an opportunity to walk it off in the series opener against the Tigers. Who has Bergeron on the circle through 6 innings of work. Giving up 4 hits, those 3 runs coming in the 6th. Good first up for Texas, and she grounds out. Katie Bennett. Moving to the DP spot. Lays down a bunt that rolls foul.
Almost perfectly placed there. I think get that one last. Maybe it hit a rock. Good job by LSU catcher. Bazaran to let that thing roll foul. If not, he wouldn't have had a play.
Bennett again trying to lay down a bunt, now facing an 0-2 count. Bennett's lone AB came in the 3rd, grounded to the second baseman. It's the 0-2 to Hodge at short. Quick throw, and can't put it in Edwards' glove. One out. Bennett on board. Top of the Texas order coming up.
Getting ready to say Hodge making a great play with the glove over there at shortstop. Just not able to get the throw there, pulling Edwards off the base. This is exactly what Texas needs, though. A little bit of momentum again, and now they're at the top of the lineup.
Ashton Maloney. Singled in the first. Grounded out to second base in the third. And fouled out to the left fielder in the fifth. To the center fielder, Lassiter, 2 down. Sidney Berzon. See the big shift here. First 4 innings allowing just a single hit. Longhorns got their second hit in the 5th inning and then unleashed in the 6th. Putting up all 3 runs they have today. Edwards knocks it down but can't pick it back up. Longhorns have runners on first and second with 2 out.
And here you go for Texas. 2 runners on. Mia Scott's up. Mia Scott just an inning before gets the 2-run home run. This is absolutely why you're going to see head coach Beth Torina take a timeout right here. Calm everyone down. I think she's watching her defense out there make uncharacteristic errors. A little bit harder on themselves. I don't think there's really much she needs to be saying to Berzon right now. She knows what she needs to do. It's talking your defense and getting everyone to settle down a little bit.
Berzon's next pitch will be her 100th on the day. While Mia Scott, fresh off 2-run homer in the 6th inning to straightaway center field. 220 to dead center in Austin. Well over that.
Mia Scott got that drop ball. It was elevated all over the heart of the plate. I think right now, you know, she's just, again, looking for a ball she can handle, elevate it up a little bit.
First pitch to Scott.
A little bit interesting right now, looking at the defensive layout with Scott, knowing she went yard. The outfield is shifted way in, and they're doing that if they get a ground ball. They know Texas is going to be heading for home to get that walk-off, and so they're trying to do anything that they can to stay short. The other thing that does is Mia Scott has hit a couple deep fly balls, obviously the home run, but her first AB went to the warning track, so you're also giving up that opportunity to not catch that fly ball.
1-1 to Scott. Missing away. Bazaran trying to frame it. Held it there for a good long while.
Also not expecting her to pull the ball, and Mia Scott has power to the right side. Right fielder definitely shifted towards center.
Here's the 2-1. Again, missing away. Two on, 2 out. Tie game, bottom of the 7th. Time call. Now towing the rubber. 3-1 pitch from Berzon. Puts her aboard. A team-leading 15th home run for Reese Atwood.